Hi, all. Convalescing. Therefore, apologies for this appearance dishabille. Um, that said, we're talking about the three presidents of the universities, one of whom for sure is Jewish and actually allowed herself to be, had her lunch money taken from her by Elise Stefanik, who has no soul and no goal, but to, rise in the world. It doesn't matter over whom or how many heads. At any rate, these presidents could resign. They should resign just for stupidity and arrogance. They thought they could go in there and answer questions by this congressional hearing. It's not a congressional hearing. It was a baited Republican trap. And as my friend Michael said, why even go? Why not just not attend the hearing? You're not under subpoena. Just don't participate. Instead, they went in and they were asked, calling for the genocide of the Jews. Is that not harassment? Which is uh, what Boris Johnson explained to be the dead cat strategy. The dead cat strategy says that if there's this big problem and everyone's talking about it, and that you can't change the subject, and it's just killing you, you throw a dead cat on the dining room table during a meal. Everyone is shocked, horrified, alarmed, disgusted, but they're talking about the dead cat. They're not talking anymore about the thing you don't want them to be talking about. So no one has called for the genocide of the Jewish people, and there hasn't been any violence on that score. The violence is all on the right wing side of things. But, Elise Stefanik holds these presidents in and asks them this question, which, to be fair to the presidents, the actual answer to the question is not a simple no, but that could have been the answer, a simple no, even though in practice, nobody would get expelled or disciplined for simply expressing their view, no matter how obnoxious the view is. But if you ask, does it constitute harassment to call for the genocide of the Jews? First of all, there are no students calling for the genocide of the Jews. There never was an issue about that. But that said, the answer on a president would rationally make in private would be no, it's not harassment in the sense that they mean it, which is to say it's not actionable harassment where the university would seek to discipline the student. But that's not the correct answer. The correct thing is one, Michael's solution, don't go. Two, answer the question with, of course it is. It's terrible, horrible. That's it. And you just don't commit to anything beyond that. But the answers they gave were after they all spoke to the same law firm. And this law firm obviously did not do them any good. If you're the president of Harvard and someone forwards this brilliant advice ahead to them, if they get a second chance, Ms. Gay, for example, I think her name is Dr. Gay. I believe Gay is an academic. May I give you some advice if you haven't already allowed it to penetrate your, brilliant mind? This is how it works. If something like this ever comes up again, you pick up the phone. You're the president of Harvard, so Bill Clinton will take your call. And you say to Mr. Clinton, I'm going in to this hearing. What might I expect, and what do you suggest I say? And he would say, Dr. Gay, this is going to be an ambush. I've already lost my Clinton, if I ever had it. So he would tell her, this is going to be an ambush, and this is how you answer. You don't pussyfoot. Just say, of course it would be harassment. It's terrible. Something like that, But you're not in an official capacity there to commit to a case, because a case is according to the bylaws of Harvard and a lot of universities, the case is contextual. Every case is individual and it depends on what went on, right? So you really have a get out of jail free card. Just say what is the expedient thing to say and get out of there, or don't show up in the first place. And if Bill Clinton wasn't available, then call call who do you call? I think you could call George Stephanopoulos. I think you could call Sidney Blumenthal. You know, you could call a lot of people, just people who know how the world works. And you thought, because you're the president of Harvard, you might have thought you were better than this Elise Stefanik, who's a ridiculous congresswoman, went in as a centrist Democrat and is now, babbling, drooling Trumper, with the hopes of rising in the world in case there's a fascist takeover. So here the three presidents lay bleeding in the street with their Patek Philippe watches stripped from their wrists. They wonder what went wrong. One of them has resigned, although according to the papers, she planned on leaving anyway. Things were not going well. She wasn't suited for the job. And the other two, well, they'll weather it, but it wasn't a good week.